scent bird. I smell good, bish. And if you want to smell good like me, you'll click down below in the description box and get 15% off of your first month subscription service to Scentbird, which is a monthly subscription service that sends you perfumes, candles, hand lotions, and makeup. So you guys get down below, check out their website, and sign up. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another Greenleaf review, you guys. All right, before I get into it, I want to send a special shout out to Done by Jen and Eyes of Royalty Lavish Aesthetics. All right, I want you guys to go follow them. Follow me on Instagram at Bondy Blue. Those are the people who did my braids and did my lashes, my brand new faux mink lash extensions. Is my first time getting them. I'm so pumped, okay, because I was getting individuals and it was taking out my lashes and I couldn't take it anymore. So I had to go and get these done, and I love them, okay? I can't even feel them. I'm like, oh my God, I can see. Living. So you guys support, especially if you're in my area, if you're in the New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Gramercy, Slidell, Metairie, whatever. If you're in that area, holla at them girls. They do their thing. All right, so let's get into Greenleaf. Lady May said she was going to see that good friend of hers, who just so happens to be Patti LaBelle. Okay, girl? Patti LaBelle was on there preaching and singing as Maxine Patterson. And she seems to be a super preacher. And Lady May goes to see her, and basically Lady May just says to her that you were so right, girl. You were so right with everything you told me. Because back in the day, they were friends and they were supposed to be going to missionary school together. But because Lady May was chasing that MOS instead of chasing that M, okay, the master of all life, okay, the Lord. All right? Because she was chasing the bishop, she didn't finish school. And now that's what she wants to do. She wants to open her own church, finish her education, be her own woman finally after years of giving her life to the bishop, their church, and their children, okay? But you know what? Miss Maxine said, why would you get a new church? You have a perfectly fine church at Calvary, and Bishop is the one that sullied y'all relationship. So let him go off and find something else, all right, girl? You take it back to Calvary and take that church over as the pastor, okay? You do it, girl, because you have it. So May takes it back home to Calvary, to the Greenleaf house, and she has, like, you could just tell, new lease on life, feeling myself, know what I'ma do. Nobody's gonna take me down. I have purpose today. Lady May had it all in her walk as she came home to her house, and there's a party that they're throwing for the bishop's round table. That's, you know, everybody that works with the church. So she was bringing all of them in and having a party. She's overseeing the party. The maid got everything all nice, and her assistant, you know, the bishop's assistant, has everything all nice. I didn't even know that the bishop's assistant, and I'm spacing on her name right now, I didn't know that her grandmother was Miss Clara. Miss Clara won the lottery, and everybody's asking Miss Clara for money. So this is also to get Miss Clara to sign over that check that she said she would give Bishop and Lady May when they told her about the IRS and the tax issue. So this is supposed to be for the bishops of the round table, and also for Miss Clara to come and feel loved, feel welcome, know that the church still supports her and all of that, so she can sign over that $2 million to save us from these tax people, okay? And Lady May comes in and she's like, oh, it looks fantastic. It looks great. She's ready, but she wants Bishop to know that whatever he's planning on doing, she is not here for it, all right? She's not here for it. She is not trying to get back with him, and he better take it on, okay, to the Lord. Jacob and Carissa and Zora and their son are getting ready to go over to Lady May's house for the festivities. And Zora is just being a straight up brat, just being so annoyingly disrespectful to her parents, all in her feelings, but her to say the least. And her mom, who shows constant patience with her, is just trying to let her go through the motions. But Jacob is over it, all right? Jacob is completely over in her and her attitude. Mom says that if she doesn't get it together, she's going to send her to Oregon to this boot camp. And Jacob is like, no, I'm over her attitude, but I don't want her going, you know, away by them white folks in Oregon. We don't know what could happen. I want her here with her family where I could watch her. And at this point, they really don't know what to do with Zora. Zora's attitude is terrible. She's stealing from the church. She's doing the most. Nobody knows how to handle her and her sullen teenage ways. Kevin is at the house losing his absolute shit over the fact that it's been a whole week since he's seen his child, and Charity is out here lying, talking about she's on tour, and he knows that her ass is not on tour. She's not answering any of his phone calls, and he really wants to call the police, but Aaron is trying to get him to just calm it down, chill out, and wait, because he went and had his time. Maybe she needs her time, but Kevin is just not feeling it at all, especially since he doesn't know where the kid is. That's what's bothering him. Where's the baby? Charity. Bishop has invited a close friend to the family, Percy Lee, who actually introduced him to Lady Mae. He's trying to create this whole little vibe. This is his last ditch attempt to get Lady Mae back and to keep her from going through with the divorce. So the party starts and everybody's there, you know, elbow rubbing and conversating and such. Grace and Darius are there and they're talking to Miss Clara, and Miss Clara is giving him the 3rd degree, just like Grace said everybody would, about why he hasn't been in church and why they haven't seen him, and you know, blaggity, 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 blah. He's not in a church, girl. Leave him alone. Lady Mae comes over to join the conversation, and Clara lets everybody know how proud she is of Grace for being on the cover of that magazine. Y'all remember Lady Mae was supposed to do that cover, but because she was out there drinking at the blues clubs, she missed that, and Grace had to pick up and do it in her absence. Well, everybody has seen her on the magazine cover. It's obviously getting good press, and Clara is just very proud of Grace, and Lady Mae is jealous and a hater of her own daughter, and she really needs to deal with that. Like the fact that you want to be sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost, and you don't even want to deal with the fact that you are jealous of your own daughter. That is just really sad to me, okay? But either way, Kevin comes in, all right? And Kevin is totally upset. You can see it all on his face. He comes in there with a t-shirt on. This is a formal engagement. He comes in with Aaron, rushing through the crowd, looking for Charity. And that's when Grace goes over and takes him to the side. He's like, what's going on? He's like, I can't find Charity. I'm looking for Charity. She says she's on tour, but I got in contact with Jabari. He says that she's not on tour with them, and I don't know where she is. It's been over a week, and I haven't seen my child. And, you know, he's flipping out. So Grace calls Charity, and Charity is sitting on the side of a pool, chilling, all right? She's like, you know, I'm on tour. And Grace is like, well, Kevin is here and he says that you're not on tour. She said, well, you know what? It didn't work out, all right? It didn't work out. She said, wait, are you by a pool? Because she hears like a splash. And she's like, look, don't even be trying to act like I'm a bad mother, all right? They have licensed and professional babysitters on site. I'm chilling. I'm taking care of me, okay? And Kevin gets on the phone and she hangs the phone up. She doesn't want to talk to him. She doesn't want to have to explain herself. She feels like he left. Why can't she? And I'm like, you know why? Because Kevin left on his own. Kevin didn't take y'all child and run away, okay? Like that, he went away to get himself together, but he didn't take your child from you. And she acts as if she's the only one who's a parent here. She acts like she's the only one that can be hurt, and I feel like it's not the same. Yes, he did leave, but he didn't take the baby with him. Can you imagine if Kevin left and took the baby with him, how Charity would have been flipping out? She would have called the police after a couple of hours. So the fact that he even waited as long as he did, okay? Kevin was trying. His nerves was just bad. And the way Charity's been acting, like how is he supposed to know what she's doing right now? Especially when she's been lying to her family and lying to everybody else about what's going on. He wants to call the police. And Grace asked Aaron to try to talk him off the ledge. And he's like, look, I'll do my best. But as you can see, I am not in control here. It is not up to me. Jacob and Carissa are arguing about whether they should send Zora to this boot camp. Lady Mae is ear hustling, and she walks over to them and tries to insert herself into the conversation, but Carissa is not here for it. Carissa doesn't want help from Jacob's mother, all right? At the end of the day, I don't even think she really likes the family. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't think Carissa likes the family. But she just kind of grabs Jacob and pulls him away, and Lady Mae is like, honey, don't think it's over. Don't think it's over, because it's not, all right? She catches Jacob on his own and asks him what's going on, and of course, he spills the tea about Zora stealing from the collection and how she's been really acting crazy and how Carissa wants to send Zora to a boot camp and he doesn't know what to do. And Lady Mae says, you know what? Won't y'all let her stay with me for a little while? She will not be disrespecting me in my home. So if anybody can handle her, I can. And Jacob is like, oh, thank God, another option. And he speaks to Carissa about it, but Carissa is not here for for it, and she's very agitated by the fact that he went and talked to his mom about their family issues. And Jacob took the words out of my mouth. That is family. That's his mom. So you mean to tell me he can't talk to his mom about issues that y'all are going through with her grandchild? Like, Carissa, stop it. Like, that's the whole point of having a big family, is so that people can help. It takes a village, sis. That's not just a saying, okay? So Bishop calls everybody around for a speech. And initially, the speech is about the Bishop's round table and how appreciative he and May are of them. And when he called May up to, stand by his side as he gave this speech, she was kind of like, now you know I told you I ain't trying to do this with you today. But she knows what they have to do. They have to put on a front. So she walks up there and he, makes it about the bishop's round table. Oh, Lord, the sun. So at first, the bishop made it about everybody that's involved in the church. But then he calls his kids and his grandkids up, and he looks into May's eyes and he tells her about how he always was so proud to have her as his woman because of her love of God and her education, in religion and in the Lord, and how he really feels as if it wasn't for her, he would not be on the right path, and how she's been a light in his life. And he really gave this heartfelt speech about how much he values and loves his wife. And not only did it touch everybody in the room, but it touched Lady May. She starts to cry. He's crying. The kids are emotional. It's beautiful. And everybody's like, oh, for love, for love. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? They're clapping. And then we see Rochelle's glittery behind standing in the back with the hater clap. Lady May is like, what is she doing here? He's like, I don't know, I'll handle it. You better. So he goes and pulls Rochelle to the side. She's in the middle of having a conversation with Grace and Clara and Darius, and they're all, giving her the side eye. The only person not giving her the side eye is Miss Clara, who, is always oblivious to what's going on around her, it seems. And when Bishop pulls her to the side, he's like, I thought I told you I needed space. And she says, well, I am giving you space. I'm still a part of the church. We haven't done anything, James. What's the problem? And he's like, the problem is I asked you for space, and this is crossing the line. You shouldn't be here. And she's like, I'm in love with you. I'm like, oh, no, you did not go crazy. No, you did not go thin line between love and hate. Lynn Winfield crazy right fast. She was like, I'm in love with you. I was like, oh, Lord, she's in love with you, James. Can you tell? I can't tell, girl. You a snake if I ever seen one, girl, trying to use your feminine wiles to corral that man over to the dog side. But he don't want you. He want his wife, and he trying to let you know. She's like, you've never been straight up with me. You've never been clear. He was like, well, I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. Okay, I'm sorry. But obviously, I want my wife, I want my family, all right? He's like, I thought I'd let you know that. And he did let her know that. He's let her know that on several occasions, but she was always moving with her body, and y'all know how the flesh is sweet. He tells her she needs to go. She walks away, and she walks past Connie's old messy self, and y'all know Connie is always picking up on everything that's going on, all right? Girl, she was giving me life with that silver fox hair and that silvery jacket. I was like, yes, Connie, serve it to us, okay? She was a look, all right? Whole mood, Nancy Wilson mood out here. I was here for it. So Rochelle takes Miss Clara to the side and asks her, why is her money tied up? What is it tied up in? And she was like, actually, it's a private matter between Bishop and me and Lady May. And, I can't really go into detail about it. And she was like, you sure? You sure you can't go into detail? She was like, sorry, honey. She's like, all right, then. Well, you know what? Just make sure that whatever it is, you vet the process. I hope that nothing's wrong. They're so blissfully, happily, almost weirdly so. All right, but you just make sure you vet it and just protect yourself. Now she done got in Clara's head. So when everybody's leaving a party, Clara tells Lady May that, she just wants to meet with her money people one more time to make sure that she's clear on this money transaction. And Lady May just has a look on her face like, oh, Lord. You know what I mean? Like just deep worry about the church now that they don't know if Clara's going to give them the money. So this is definitely Rochelle messing with the Greenleafs yet again. And I don't know if Lady May picked that up, that it was Rochelle who is the cause behind them maybe not getting the money that they need, but I hope somebody's paying attention to them standing in the foyer talking and the look on Clara's face, all right? Somebody should have been watching. Where was Clara's granddaughter? Assistant, where are you? You supposed to be around the corner when messy stuff is happening. So Zora is chilling in a room on the computer, and Sophie was in a car with her little boyfriend making out, and he started to get a little fresh and started to like try to put his hand up her skirt, and she stopped him and she says, let's just go back inside. And he was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go home. And she's like, don't be mad. He says he isn't mad, but he leaves. He looks sexually frustrated to me. So she goes back inside to talk to Zora, and like I said, Zora was on the computer talking to Isaiah, and she sees it, and she was like, you know, what's this about? And at first, Zora is sitting up there lying about the money situation, lying, saying that she didn't steal and her parents are just tripping. And that's when Sophie's like, so where did you get the money that you were trying to give me to get you a phone? She was like, oh, that's my birthday money. And that's when Sophie sees that she's still talking to Isaiah online. And Zora starts to go in on Sophie and how she's God's bitch. I was like, now, first of all, little girl, okay, you need your whole ass whipped for even saying that. That is not a thing. I'm gonna need for nobody to ever say that again. God's bitch. What is that about? Like, you so disrespectful and blasphemous. If I was Sophie, I'd have smacked the taste out your mouth for saying something like that to me. Why? Because Sophie got morals? Because Sophie doesn't want to be with a little boy who's beating her and hitting her? Because Sophie wants to be happy and preserve her virginity for her husband and not for the first little dank boy that want to show her some affection in time? Girl, get out of my face, Zora, because you acting like a little girl that ain't got no daddy, all right? Sophie the one with daddy issues, and she seems to be way better adjusted than the hot ass mess that Jacob and Carissa have raised. I'm just saying, okay? So they get into a little fight because she really was talking bad to Sophie and making Sophie feel bad and saying how she wished she never came there and she was happier before Sophie got there and, you know, trying to control everybody with Jesus this and Jesus that. I'm like, girl, your family is in the church. It's always been Jesus this and Jesus that. What are you talking about? In the middle of them fighting, Carissa comes in, because Carissa was just leaving her conversation with Jacob mad about him telling Lady Mae. So she came in and broke them up, and then she saw the messages on the computer. She was like, you still talking to that boy after I told you not to? You think you gonna leave when you turn 18? You got another thing coming, young lady. And that's when she says, gets in her mama's face, mind you, with her hand, talking about, I'm leaving when I make 18 and y'all can't stop me. And she said, little girl, you better get that hand out of my face. I'd have mushed the hell out of that little girl. There's no way that I pushed you out my body. I take care of you. I pay for all of this, and you think you're going to be disrespectful enough to come in my face and tell me what you going to do with some little boy that's putting his hands on you. Not only are you disappointing me, but you are really pissing me off, okay? So mama now has to come to the realization that something has to happen, okay? So they go ahead and they bring her over to Lady Mae's house the next day, and she's all mad and being disrespectful, and she walks in, but she shows Lady Mae respect, hugs her grandmother, and tries to go into her room, and she said, come back out here and give your parents a proper goodbye. And she give him the little one arm hug. I'm like, girl, you feel terrible if you hug your parents and that was the last time you saw them. You'd feel like shit, okay? But I know how she feels. She a teenager. She upset, hormones, all of that, all right? So Carissa is just really upset. And Lady Mae hugs her and says, it's going to be all right. I'll get through to her. Y'all, somebody better get through to her before that little boy try to kill her or I try to kill her jumping through a screen. Okay, somebody get her, working on my nerves. So the next morning, it's all over the newspapers about the bishop and Lady Mae's IRS issues. And Connie goes to Grace and says that I know we have differences in opinion because at the party, they kind of had a little back and forth. Connie feels like Grace is always agitating for undeserving underdogs or something along those lines. And Grace just lets her know that Jesus is every underdog. Okay, sis, get it together. You don't get to decide who deserves Jesus' grace. You do not get to decide who deserves God's love, Miss Connie. It doesn't matter how much you giving me Nancy Wilson realness, okay? I hate when people feel like they so good and they're so great, like they've never done anything in their life that they reserve the entitlement. The entitlement of it all to feel like you get to decide who is welcome in God's house. Like, I'm not here for that at all. And Grace is just really here for joining the alliance or something like that, but just joining the coalition with all the other churches that are making statements about being open to gays and lesbians. And, because Miss Connie came up to her at the party asking why Kevin hadn't been coming to church. And she was like, he hasn't been coming because he's not allowed to be who he is in the church. You're not telling him to not be who he is, but you're demanding that he doesn't be who he is. Just like how y'all did with the choir director, making him leave because y'all didn't like the fact that him and his husband was very much in love with each other. Y'all better leave him and Kyle Barker alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just hate. But either way, Connie sees that Grace is still a good person to be in the church, and they want her to think about taking over as lead pastor if she has to, considering the things that are going on with Lady Mae and Bishop. And I'm like, oh, all right, we'll see. We'll see. Charity is acting like some drunk drug addict woman who just lost her way in the lobby of a hotel, singing her heart out with her baby in a stroller. I'm like, girl, you need help. And that's when the police roll up. All right, the police rolled up. All right, so I guess Kevin had to do what he had to do, y'all. We'll find out what happens next episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.